This is the Sega Activator Interactor Menacer episode. It's been a while since I've done an episode commentary, and I feel this one deserves it. I've been wanting to do this for a while. Maybe I'll get Nathan next time, that'd be fun. But for now, I just wanted to talk on my own because I have a lot to say about it. First of all, getting the nerd and Keith Apiary together was needed. It was really fun working with somebody with his sense of humor, his talent for physical stunts, and just great to be around. It's not often when I get the chance to incorporate a guest character into a nerd episode. So every episode has its own flavor, its own style, but one thing that's constant in the episodes is that they're always about taking you back to the past, to a certain point in time when you're playing games as a child. This video is exactly that. It's a reenactment of how two children might play with games. Of course, it's two grown adults, and well, those are the type of exaggerated characters I like to portray in my stories. People who are overly attached to the past. The nerd, he obsesses over his past. But anyway, this is meant to recreate the situation when you're having friends over, getting excited about all those hot new video games coming out. You've consumed too much sugar, everybody's hopped up. It's the perfect storm. This is an exaggeration of something that could actually happen. This is gaming gone wrong. That's the whole idea of the video. Every box we open, every accessory leads to disaster, all over a stupid piece of plastic. The criticism I get is that I didn't review the games. Yeah, I did. I reviewed them visually. I acted it out. Just because I didn't sit down and say, this is the Activator, released by Sega in 1993. I didn't have much interesting to say about these other than my own experiences while playing them. For example, with the Activator, one of the things that kept happening was the game kept pausing. But why tell you that? How about instead I show you it? This is a visual form of demonstration. Mainly, I wanted this to be entertaining. Sometimes it's more like a history lesson. This time, I wanted to give you a show. I wanted to introduce as many accessories as possible in a short amount of time. This is a speed history of Sega accessories. I didn't want it to lose momentum. I mean, who wants to talk about the TV golf for more than 2 minutes? The worst thing would be to make 140 episodes of the same exact thing. That would get boring. At least I would get bored, and if I get bored, you'd notice. The videos would suffer. In order for people to like these videos, I have to like them first. Otherwise, it's just a job, and while I'd rather have this job than pizza delivery or construction working, my true intention is creating original content rather than just critiquing pre-existing content. I would feel no satisfaction if every single video was just me sitting on the couch talking about a game. It's a job where if you have a bad day, lots of people are watching. So no pressure, right? This right here, I don't know if the humor's lost on younger generations, but this is what TV commercials were like in the 80s and early 90s. Everything was always flashy and hyper. Like I said, I'm taking you back to the past.
That means you can now finally feel like you're in the game. I've always wanted to feel the punches, the kicks, the crashes, the slam dunks, explosions, and more.
That's one of my favorite parts right there. And more. And that look on his face. And the shot lingers just a little bit too long to make it awkward. So the Interactor is a device you strap on your back so you can feel the rumble hit detection from the games, just like we say in the video. There's nothing more to say about it, so I thought it was a real funny idea to play the Activator and the Interactor at the same time, so the person who's hitting the air is activating the impacts that the other person feels. I thought that was a clever idea. Like, would you consider that I'm actually hitting him, or is it more like I'm just hitting him through technology? So because things were broken, we only had one take, only one chance to get it right. Ouch, that frying pan looks so real. And then he smirks, as if he likes the pain. Also, to preserve the continuity, we had to shoot in order. Otherwise, you might see a table broken, then the table would return to normal, my Santa hat would come off, then it would come back on, that sort of thing. Also, I really love these overhead shots. I can't think of any other nerd episode that has that type of camera angle. To get that, we had to attach the camera to the ceiling with some boards of wood, and it really wasn't that high up, but It had a wide-angle lens, so I was really impressed that you could see the whole fake set that we built.
Oh my god.
Anyway, like I was saying, everything had to be shot in order. Usually you'd want to get all your wide shots first, then your close-ups. Otherwise you're moving lights, cameras, and microphones back and forth and it takes time away. So what we did, we had 4 cameras running at the same time to capture every possible angle. Everybody was there operating the cameras. Mike, Bootsy, Kyle. I love being around those guys. Obviously, I see Mike very often, but I don't see the other guys that much. So you know it's a big production when all the guys are there. It was all hands on deck.
That's for golf. Here.
That's one of my favorite things in nerd videos is when you play the game in a way that you're not supposed to. I mean, he just made Sonic jump with a golf club. And you can do that, it works. You can't make him run though.
Well, it works.
And that's another thing, this video is all about how many different creative ways can you play the games, how many different combinations of, you know, wearing the Stunt Master while playing golf and, you know.
Now we can really feel like we're in the game.
The Stunt Master was already covered in a video I made with Mike as a DVD bonus, which I think was hilarious. You can see it on YouTube now. Just look up Virtual Reality Stunt Master Cinemassacre or whatever. The same amount of information is in both videos. Here I rapidly spoke all the same details with how you'd hook up the Stunt Master. That's the whole point, is how confusing it is. But that video with Mike was already so funny because spontaneous things happened that couldn't have been emulated with writing. The funniest part was when Mike clips the tracking tube to his shirt and starts swinging it around, so I decided to use that in this video where I hit Nathan in the face, which is coming up later.
That's why I need the Victor Max tracking tube.
Like I was saying before, I try to give every video its own unique tone to keep it interesting. The last one right before this was Berenstain Bears. That one was like an intellectual examination of alternate timelines that intersect. The plot of that episode was so complicated that after that, I went in the opposite direction with slapstick. Here, you don't have to wrap your brain around anything. This one is just self-explanatory physical comedy.
Stop thinking. Let things happen. Be the ball.
Little Caddyshack reference there. Anyway, that's how I keep it fresh, by always doing something different. Slapstick is a classic, time-tested form of comedy. It's visual. It doesn't matter what language you speak. Anyone, anywhere in the world can understand it, young and old. Slapstick is universal. Tom and Jerry, the Three Stooges, those are among some of the best examples. You can watch a Charlie Chaplin film from the 20s and it doesn't suffer any time gap. You can still laugh at it today. That doesn't mean everybody likes slapstick. Some people just don't think it's funny, I guess, and that's fine. In that case, you can just move on, but there's some people who look down on slapstick and think slapstick is an inferior form of comedy. You don't have to like it, but give it some respect. It's funny how an episode with nothing much to understand can be so misunderstood. This is the most expensive AVGN episode to date, which is not surprising. Everything you see in the video, the elf costume, the props, everything had to be bought. The biggest expense was the breakaway props, like the bottles, the mugs, the tables, the clock, the fake fire extinguisher, fake bricks, all that. That stuff is really great. I mean, there's nothing more fun than getting a realistic looking prop that you can smash without hurting yourself, but it costs some money. I spent over $1,000 on all those breakaway props. On top of that, there was all the set construction and decoration. We had to build the fake wall, which Kyle did, plus there was the Christmas tree, the lights, the curtains, even the chimney, which was a reused prop. Still, we had to add to it to extend the top to make it higher. Then there's the flights. I flew Nathan out to the East Coast to be in this video. Usually there's no travel costs for AVGN episodes. So this was a rare exception, and Nathan was nice, he split it with me. Then there's the video game accessories. Every one of those I had to look up on eBay.
I'll be right back.
I don't know why that's so funny, but it is. Oh, here it goes. I'm gonna hit him in the face. Oh, man. That was an accident. I didn't mean to hit him that good. But about the budget of the video, after all said and done, the total came to $3,614.04. If you're surprised, well, so was I. I took a pretty hard hit, but it was all for the art. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice. Look at that tree spinning around. That overhead shot where all you can see is the tree. I don't care who you are, that's funny. I knew with this video that the nerd and Keith had to share the destruction. I already knew what the complaints would be if the nerd wasn't the main star of the video, so I had to make sure that the nerd had an equal amount of antics, but the grand finale had to be Keith. He does that best. So I decided, look at him go through the wall, that's fucking great. So anyway, I just told him, here's a Christmas tree, here's a wall to crash, here's all this other stuff, just have fun. Of course, we discussed it more, so everybody who was there, every camera operator, everybody knew where he was going to go, so we would move out of his way and capture all the key moments. It was great having somebody, and I know the fucking video's over, but you know it's bullshit? Commentaries. It's like there's never time to say everything you want to say. So anyway, it was just great having somebody there who knew how to do all this kind of stunt stuff. He's been through walls before, so he helped score it and that type of thing. Wanted to mention the music too. It was done by Andreas Hedlund, who had done a lot of other nerd videos. I had a bunch of stock music that was already in place, and we agreed that lots of it already sounded perfect because that type of music reminds you of all that cheesy music that you hear in all those old TV commercials. So what he did, he took the stock music and then created original music with Christmas melodies and hints of the AVGN theme to go around it. So sometimes you're hearing the original music, other times it's the stock music, but he mixed it in a way that it all flowed together seamlessly. So anyway, I won't make you stare at a blank screen, man, any longer. So last thing I'll say is that no episode is going to please everybody. It's all a matter of opinion and personal taste. One fan's favorite episode might be another fan's least favorite episode. For me, this one ranks pretty high.